Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Know Your Faculty, which is a podcast series brought to you by the social media team at Durga Devi Saraf Institute of Management Studies. So, in today's episode, we have another special guest, which is Dr. Sarita Vichore, who is the director of DSGS and also a renowned individual in the field of finance, if I may say that about you. So, over her long journey, ma'am has inspired a lot of students, a lot of faculties, a lot of people that have reached out to her, people that have studied in her class. And today, I personally have a very great opportunity to talk to her one-on-one and know more about her and her journey. So, I would like to welcome you to the podcast, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Aditya. And
So,
it's a pleasure.
Before I start the conversation, I have the opportunity right now to ask something which I am not able to on a regular basis. So my first question to you is, ma'am, how are you and how are you doing?
I'm doing good, as usual. Happy about life. High on energy when you all are around, young crowd. So very happy.
Thank you so much for that. That question was a personal question from my end because not every day I would be sitting with a director like this, and since I have the opportunity right now, I took my start. So to start with the podcast, we would first like to know a little bit about your journey. What exactly drew you towards the world of finance? Where exactly would you say it began?
So actually, it starts from my childhood, to be precise. My father is a renowned finance professional, and I was always in awe of the work that he used to do. I think so naturally and organically, I drew towards it. Maybe you can say it's my genes somewhere. Yes. And then I also thought I should do something else in terms of, marketing also as an area. So I did a dual specialization, but I got inclined to finance more. And eventually I got some more certifications, degrees, and so on in this area. Then later I did some consultancy and I worked for some corporates. It was again in the area of finance. So that's all about why finance for me. So yeah, my father.
So I think it would be fair to say that finance is finally your heart and soul at this point.
It is.
So since you have had such an inspiring career path, what exactly motivated you to get into teaching in particular and eventually take up the role of director at DSGS?
So teaching came, as an opportunity. Once when I was working in one of the companies, there were some faculty members who had come and visited. They had brought their students over there. So when I was telling them about the whole process, they approached and they said, why don't you come and just take 1 or 2 guest sessions for our students? And literally I'll tell you, from there the journey started. When I went into the class, the energy that the students have was not the life when I went back to a cubicle in the corporate, right? So I completed one subject with them, and then they approached me saying that would I like to take it as a full-time. I took the opportunity, and from there, I'm into teaching. So it's all because of the energy that you get in the classroom and the satisfaction at the end of the day that you have implemented something that you were just doing it in the corporates, right, in the minds of the students. So the implementation process that you put in the minds of the students.
Okay. Since your career started in finance, and as you said that it is practically genes at this point, so in your career, before you started teaching, did you ever think that you would actually take up something like teaching and this is something that you would enjoy and use as a career path?
Not at all, right? Because I did my cost accounting and I was working for the diversification project, which was into steel and then went into a power plant. I would have never thought of going into a college and teaching students. I do not know what to say about it, but it had to happen and I'm enjoying the whole process. That's it.
Very well. Actually, ma'am, I think the students might be enjoying your process as well since you are the one teaching. So, the third question is that finance can sometimes feel a bit intimidating for students, even for finance students or even for marketing or HR or operations students. It is just a bit intimidating as compared to other subjects. So how do you make the subject more fun and easier to connect with for the students in the class?
See, because finance, if you talk of, you're talking of a company, to be precise, when you are in the management school. So, you talk of companies through sectors and economies and all. So if I talk of a company, I have to treat it as an individual and not as a company. So how does an individual like to be in its own journey? That should be the way you should have perspective to look at how the company should be. So if you want to be happy, the company wants to be happy.
Okay.
So if you want to have an enriched life, the company wants to have an enriched life. The only parametrical difference is that the basics are different, but the feel and the virtue are the same. So if you get into that creative mode of understanding this process, right, you will never find it difficult. You will find it very interesting. So that is the perspective, if you keep of finance, right, it works. For example, let me tell you, you as an individual, Aditya, when you start earning, right, you would like to make some savings, and then you would, and the profit is what for you?
Since I am an MBA student and I am starting out, the financials are the most important, I would say.
Correct. So there you are handling anyways.
That is correct.
Isn't it? So we are just handling it for a company, and it has some strategies. You will have your own strategies.
Correct.
Companies will have their own strategies. We follow regulations in life. We need to follow when we are living. Companies also do the same. So I think there's a lot of parity between the two. It's not different. So if you look at it like that, I think it becomes easier. It's a perspective, I think.
I think that's a very different answer than I was expecting. I have another personal question. So when you look at teaching from one specific perspective, or the perspective that you just provided to us, would you say it is more from a faculty point of view, or does it differ if you look at it from a director's point of view?
So once you are a professor, right, the tag of director has no meaning in the classroom, because the two roles are very different. The director's role is more of administrative. You are looking at the system, the process of an institution. And if you are a professor, you're completely different. You're trying to see that the careers in the classroom are made through the students, right? So they're two very different kind of jobs and very different kind of functions. But for me, if you ask me which one is the best, professor.
I think that answer would probably be stagnant, or probably would be constant if I ask any professor, because at the end, I think from your perspective, teaching is not just a skill, it has become your profession. It is more like a thing that makes happy.
Also, one thing, I have become a director because I'm a professor.
That is also correct.
So
Yes.
it's not the reverse. So it's what you get when you feel that, okay, you're good in administration also, let's try this. So, but the base is professor.
Well, we have another technical question here. What are some must-have financial or analytical skills that every management student should focus on developing during their MMS or PGDM journey?
What they should know. They must know about sectors, right? In the country in which they are born, in the country in which they are studying. What sectors are the ones which are adding value to the GDP, right? That is one thing they must know. The second aspect that they must know technically is how AI is differentiating all the areas irrespective of finance, right? So these two, I will say, are very important for a management student.
Now, since we are already done with the core questions, we have a few fun personal questions for you.
Oh, wow.
That again, we do not have the opportunity to ask you every single day. Time short that we are getting to ask you such personal questions. So firstly, the question is that which was your favorite or the most fun event at DSMS and DSGS?
Always Sabrang, right? Why? Because I love singing. So,
Yes.
I also like to see a lot of colors. I like to see the different perspectives of the students. And I feel on campus you enjoy more when creativity flows. And that's what I feel. Sabrang is one, I love the event.
Do you have any specific moments on Sabrang? Since we have already seen you singing as well at Sabrang.
Yeah.
So it is one of our core memories as well. So just like that, do you have any core memories, any specific years which was your favorite?
I'll tell you the first year. So I am at the institution from day one when we inaugurated this institute. Okay, so this idea of Sabrang and why it should be Sabrang, right? From that concept development to now, I see this is the 16th year of the institute, right? So that my first year will always be special. So those memories are very special.
Agreed. the next question is, during your free time, what are the activities or hobbies which you like to pursue?
Actually, hobbies, one is singing for sure, okay,
Correct.
that is one. And two, I'm like any other student that I meet and I relate, is because I also see a lot of movies, right? I also see a lot of series. So that's it for me. Two things I do and I'm done.
So, do you practice singing on a regular basis as of now?
Not practice as such, okay, but if I have some time, I do, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, we would say that singing and binge watching movies.
Yes,
or
yes,
series.
yes.
Very
That's
nice.
how I can relate with you all very well.
I think that's one option, or that's one aspect that every student will relate to you. We have a lot of singers in our batch as well.
Yes.
And almost everyone is a binge watcher, so they would agree with you as well. If given the chance, apart from finance, what other specialization course or subject would you most likely teach to students and why?
I think operations, and the reason being the whole process of costing, like the operations that goes, that is one area of my interest and I specialize in that too. So I'd love to take something related to the costing part in the area of operations. Yes, that would be mine.
Okay, so ma'am, let's move forward to our next segment. It is a rapid fire round. I'm sure since you're a binge watcher, you would have seen something like this.
Yeah.
We will provide you a name and you have to say the first word that pops up in your mind, the first thing that you think about them. So I'll give you a few names and as soon as you think of something, the first word, you just
Yes,
think of.
yes.
So firstly, we have Babu sir,
Avid reader,
Kaushik sir,
discipline,
Kitty ma'am,
vibrant,
Ajaz sir,
a good teacher,
Zubin sir,
emotional,
Pooja ma'am,
a sweet girl,
and lastly Vivek sir.
mature.
So ma'am, before we end this session, lastly I would also want you to answer another personal question.
Okay.
So this is on behalf of every student that I have studied with, every student that is coming in. If we are to go ahead, what would be one advice that you would want specifically for every student who's passing out and every student who's coming in? Just one line of advice for both of them, people who are passing out and people who are coming in.
Sure. So the students who are coming in, right, they have to be very clear in their thought process, right? So why and how, this has to be very clear when they walk in, because if that is not clear, then they are going to waste a lot of time actually finding their own path and then grooming themselves, because management school is basically a skill development place wherein you have around 16 to 18 months. So
Yes.
if you're not clear with what you want to do and how you want to do, then there can be some delay in terms of achieving for what they're coming in. And for the ones who are going out, I'll say never stop learning. Keep on adding value to yourself, because change is permanent and change will always come in some form or the other. So that's my advice.
I think that's really great advice. Since I am the one passing out, I had to ask that question for myself so that I can, learn something after I go or before I go as well. So thank you so much, ma'am, for being
Thank you.
here with us. And that was it for this episode, guys. We have a lot more episodes coming in. So I just want you to stay tuned. Until then, be well. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you.